Hi Isha, this is just a very quick video because I've got to, I've basically got to do something in 10 minutes, got some tuition. But yeah, anyway, I don't think you're stuck on the first bit. You differentiated that correctly and you got to cos 2x equals a third. I think I know what's going to catch you out in B part 2 because it caught me out. So I've got a good guess, right? You were fine on the first one and you thought it's a squash scale factor 3, so you divided what is Q's coordinates, which is going to be the second biggest one, the second smallest one, because Q is the maximum here, and this is relevant in a second. So you divided that by 3 and you got 0.84 for B part 1. Well, in B part 2, what you probably did was you took 2.525 and you thought the reflection in x-axis doesn't change the x coordinate, and so I'm just going to times that by 4 and you would have got 10.1. It's really sneaky this, but remember, when you reflect something in the x-axis, sure, the x-coordinates don't change, but the minimum becomes the maximum and the maximum becomes the minimum. So what we should use here is P's coordinate, which is 0.613, and times that by 4, not Q's coordinate timesing it by 4, just because the reflection in the x-axis leads to the minimum becoming the maximum and the maximum becoming the minimum. And they ask for the maximum turning point in the curve. So that was your first question. Your second question, couple of guesses about what might have gone wrong here. Firstly, 2018 to 2040 inclusive includes the year 2040. Now, I've literally just rushed back in to do the video again because I basically did the video very, very quickly because I've got something at 10 o'clock, and then I suddenly thought, Isha, hang on, this is going to be 23 terms, not 22 terms. Think of the situation if it was 2018 to 2019, yeah? If they ask you to find the sum of these 2 years inclusive, that's 2 years. You would have n equals 2 there because you'd need this as your first term and this is your second term. So 19 minus 18 equals 1 is always going to give you 1 less than what you need here. It's a little bit subtle, and you have to read the question ever so carefully to decide whether you need n equals 22 or n equals 23. But I think it's n equals 23. Let me know in the mark scheme if they're different. So that should be a 23, and that's going to change this answer as well to, let's have a look, 4,500 times by 0.98 to the, oh no, that should be 22 because it's n minus 1. So I had that right in the first place, but I think it will change the final answer. Let me just see what it comes to the power of 22, 2890, basically, to 3 significant figures, 2890 tons. Okay, that tells you at this point you're still producing well over 1,500 tons every year. So what I thought I'd do for the last bit is I'd take my 800 quid a ton, times it by 1,500, so I know how much per year I'm spending extracting the first 1,500 tons, and then times it by 23 because I've got 23 years, yeah? So I'm going to do this on my calculator because I think my final answer's wrong here. 800 times by 1,500 times by 23. Okay, and then I'm going to add on to that 600 times by the sum from the first 23 terms. I'm slowly typing this into my calculator. What is it? 83600. But I'm going to have to subtract from that 23 1,500 tons, aren't I? Because then I'll take off all of the first 1,500 tons from each year. So that's what I'm doing, minus 23 times 1,500. Okay. And that gives me in total a final answer of, I think the final answer is 57 million basically, 060,000, and I've used a rounded value there, which is pretty bad of me, but I think that basically that's going to give you x equals, because this is in millions, 57, because this is 57 million, x million, so 57.1 million pounds for your final answer. Could you let me know though if that doesn't agree with whatever mark scheme you're using for this, because I've at least come from. But both those questions, I thought you sent me a couple of gotyas. Do you know what I mean? Like those kind of questions where you just think that's just tripping people up. That really is. So watch out for that. Okay, bye bye.